Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently took on Republicans in a recent tweet. So now, first, she criticized President Trump's economic advisor, Stephen Moore. Now, Stephen Moore is not interested in Congress passing another coronavirus stimulus. In fact, here's what he said, according to Jeff Stein, who was the White House economics reporter for the Washington Post. Quote, I don't see Republicans budging on the blue state bailout. Blue state. Let me tell you something. All right. We bail out the red states all the time. I thought it's supposed to be the United States, not blue states, red states, whatever, right? I thought we're all supposed to help each other. Oh, but I guess when it comes to Republicans, they don't want to help anyone else but themselves. But they'll gladly take money from New York and California. California is like the third biggest economy in the world. I mean, no blue state bailout. Let me tell you, I don't want to bail out them blue states. No, ridiculous. All right, so that said, here's what he said on this. The economy is doing fine, much better than expected. Oh, yes, very, very fine, very fine. In fact, so much so that in Stein's own report, he notes that between the end of September and the end of October, the number of Americans saying it was very difficult to pay their usual household expenses actually rose by not 2.3%. No, by more than 2.3 million to now 34.8 million. So you got over 30 million people that are like, it's getting real hard to pay the bills. Like this is not a good situation. But Stephen Moore says, it's fine. The economy's doing fine. We're fine. Now, AOC had some problems with that. Responding to Moore's comment, AOC posted a tweet which read, 30 million people in this country at risk of eviction. Millions of people are unemployed or underemployed from cutback hours. The economy is not the stock market. We are not doing fine. People need help in red states and blue. Our job is to help everyone. This is basic. But apparently, Stephen Moore is a basic bitch and doesn't understand what it's like to be someone who was not super wealthy. And look, Stephen Moore has probably never met or talked to or cared about a person who was poor or working class in his entire life. He's doing good. So he thinks, well, everybody else is doing good. I mean, I'm doing great. Why isn't everybody in my social circle is doing fantastic? I don't understand who needs help. I mean, yeah, we could use more help, actually. We could use more tax cuts. No. So now, to follow that up, AOC then tweets yesterday, because the first one was from Wednesday. Yesterday, she said, to get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home. Now, I've been saying that for a while. We've all been, progressives have been saying that, right? A lot of them. Because it's like, hey, we're not going to control the virus unless we actually have a robust lockdown of about 3 to 4 weeks where we pay people to stay home. I know Republicans are like, they go apoplectic when you talk about, oh my God, pay people to stay home. Why would we ever pay people to stay home? Because we have a pandemic that is spread between people when people congregate in groups or they go to work and share a workspace. That makes the virus spread around and then you bring it home. The virus doesn't stay at work when you leave. No, it comes home with you and you spread it to your grandma, your aunt and uncle, your family, your friends. You spread it around your community and then your community gets sick. They rush to hospitals. The hospitals can't handle the strain and the whole healthcare system tends to fall apart at that point. So yes, you want to pay people to stay home. How is that a difficult concept? Again, only during a pandemic, that's what you want. Until the pandemic is solved, you pay people to stay home. Not a hard concept. But anyway, they don't understand this. They don't get it. They don't get it. So now, obviously, I'm going to show you a good example of them not getting it. Here's Nikki Haley. Here's what she said. AOC, are you suggesting you want me to pay people to stay home from the money you take from defunding the police? Or was that from student debts you wanted to pay off? Or the Green New Deal? Or Medicare for all? Hashtag, where's the money? You realize that the government is a lender of student loans, right? They lend out the money. So it's the taxpayer. They can just cancel out the debt. It's not like it's a private bank, where people are borrowing money from, and you got to pay the bank for canceling out that debt. It's literally the government's taxpayer money. They do it all the time. They cancel debts. So yes, you could absolutely, you don't have to go and find money to cancel student loan debt. You can just go boop, 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 canceled. That's it. That's it. It's not difficult. Okay. But no, she doesn't get it. But hey, if you want to find money, by the way, okay, well, let's look at the tax cuts for the rich that you doled out like candy in 2017. We can start there. We can start by canceling that. Okay. Bringing tax, ending the tax cuts for the rich and actually making them pay their fair share. Well, there you go. That's one way if you really want to, quote unquote, find money. But no, of course not. Here's what AOC said in response to that. Nikki, I'm suggesting Republicans find the spine to stand up to their corporate donors and vote for the same measures they did back in March, except without the Wall Street bailout this time. I love how she mentions that. And look, she also adds, I know you're confused about actual governance, but police budgets are municipal, not federal. Nikki Haley has no idea what she's talking about, and she just got fucking clowned. I love it. There's more. She added, utterly embarrassing that this woman was a governor, still doesn't have a grasp of public investment. Wonder if she says federal financing works like a piggy bank or a household too. Look, that is the biggest bullshit con that we have been told, right? That the government, finances is just like a household. It's not. I can't go print money. Okay. Money printer does not go burr in my household. I mean, if it did, I would get arrested. So you can't do that. The government can. The government also has the reserve currency of the world. So meaning we're not borrowing from anyone else. And we're borrowing money from China. No, China is actually buying bonds. They're making an investment into the United States government for an eventual return. They can get a return on that investment. But literally, as long as we have the human capital, right? And as long as we have the resources, then we can print as much money as we want. That's kind of how it works. All right. And so, no, but the Republicans, they want to sell you that fantasy so they can say no to any sort of spending on poor people. And that's it. And that's it. And now apparently China is selling their U.S. bonds. So they don't want them anymore. Gee, I wonder why, according to the audience. But look, in another tweet, here's what she said. All this faux seriousness from folks who worship Trump for running the country like his casino. And in a separate tweet, she addressed all Republicans. Republicans are mad at this, and they literally just voted to do this back in March. The reason they're opposed to it now is because the last time they got a Wall Street bailout, and this time all that's left is helping working people, the disabled, the poor, etc. It's almost as if they're opposed to, I don't know, helping poor people. Oh, right. It's because they are. And understand, it's not as if we can't come up with the money. We could cut the defense budget by like, a couple $1 billion and still be the most well-funded military in the entire world. Which again, for me, I don't understand why we need such a bloated military anyway. It is full of waste and inefficiency. I mean, we lost pallets of trillions of dollars in Iraq. So why do we need to just throw money into that fucking pit? And then a lot of it, of course, gets used to bomb brown people anyway. I'm not in favor of that. No, cut that budget. Just cut it. Just cut it. And that's it. And we can, again, we have all the money that we need and all the resources that we need to take care of regular people. Okay. But here's the thing. They're not going to do that. And we know why. Again, we need stimulus that goes to workers small businesses, and all that stuff. We need to cancel rent. We need to cancel mortgages. We need to put a stay on utilities and a $2,000 a month UBI for every person until this is over. Okay? Now, since we have some promising vaccines on the horizon, it's kind of the perfect time for us to hunker down and to give people money to survive to the end of the year and let the vaccines get manufactured and then spread around. And by the end of next year, we might be able to actually go back to our lives. Great. I can't wait. I can't wait. But again, that's really a political decision. Nikki Haley knows that we can afford to do this. Conservatives know that we can afford to do this, but they don't want to help poor people. They morally are against it. They don't believe in it. They believe that poor people are less than moral. They made bad choices, and that's why they're poor. It's a very Calvinistic, it's a very wealth equals morality point of view that is prevalent in the Republican Party. And so the irony, of course, is that in America, it seems to be like the less moral you are, the more chance you have of being a wealthy person. The more you're willing to crush workers, for example, stab people in the back, the more successful you tend to be. Again, look at who's president. Donald Trump's like the least moral person ever. He's always like stepping on people, breaking laws, all that stuff. And so the other irony, of course, is that every time Republicans try to come for AOC with bullshit gotchas, she hands them their ass. And yet they keep coming. They keep lining themselves up to get slapped, which is great. As opposed to, of course, people like Biden. So now Joe Biden, the problem with Joe Biden is that he's also not in favor of a shutdown. He's not in favor of Medicare for all. And too often than not, he will also agree with the Republican framing on these issues of spending. Oh, no, we can't run up the debt. We've got to be responsible. Well, are Republicans responsible? No, they spend like crazy. It's just that they give all the money to the rich and corporations. Whereas, again, progressives like AOC, Cori Bush, the Squad, Bernie Sanders want to give money to regular people to help them survive and to help them thrive. Again, hand up, not hand out. That's what it's about, to give people an even playing field. And unfortunately, people like Biden don't believe in that. And so he's already bent down to the Republican narrative on spending, on what we need to actually do to fight this pandemic and to come out on top. I hate that corporate Democrats are so freaking weak and that they won't challenge this. But I do love at least how we have people like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, the Squad, because they actually do on these issues fight back. And we need much, much more of that. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.